Hey, what is happening, people? Woodsy Workout here, and welcome to episode 4 of the Hyrox Deep Dive series. Today we are talking burpees. I'm going to be doing my 1,000 meter burpee broad jump challenge, as well as teaching you everything you need to know about the Hyrox burpee broad jumps. So a couple of months ago, I made the agreement that if I got to 1,000 subscribers, I would do 1,000 meters of burpee broad jumps. Now, I know I'm a little late on holding up my end of the bargain, but I had the World Championships and then a couple of holidays. But anyway, we're getting to it now. We are at 1,140 subscribers, so that's exactly how many meters of burpees I'm going to be doing. And before I get into it, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone that has liked, subscribed, shared, and shown their support. I really do appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I'll probably do another challenge when we hit 2K. So, you can drop a comment and give some suggestions for that one. But now on to this one. Let's get going. Okay, so I've just done a jog round to see the distance. We're looking at 0.37 kilometers, so 370 meters, and 1,140 divided by 37 is pretty much bang on 3 laps. So 3 laps right around the edge is what I'm going to be hitting. Let's get going. Now, as thrilling as belly flopping around a field is, let's break down the Hyrox burpees. So unlike with the other stations, there's not necessarily an optimal technique. There are multiple ways of doing it depending on your cardiovascular fitness, your mobility, your build. You need to choose the variation that works best for you and then work out the trade-off between speed of your reps and holding a continuous pace. So, starting with the fastest variation, you have jumping back and jumping forward. You see Hunter use this variation. This is your traditional burpee. It's all about fast turnover. You don't jump really far with each rep, but you keep low to the ground and take small, quick bounds. Although this is the quickest variation, it is the most taxing. And it's very hard to maintain for long periods of time. So I would recommend this technique if you're a smaller, lighter athlete. If you're doing the doubles and you're going for maximum speed, or if you're just like Hunter and you have elite cardiovascular fitness. The second variation is jump back, step forward. This variation is the one that I like to use. It means you have a slower turnover, but you can take bigger bounds and maintain a more sustainable rhythm because it allows you a little more time to gather. You can also go to your knees first and then your feet if you want that extra second to breathe. I'd recommend this technique to most people, but remember that your trailing leg cannot pass your front foot, which unfortunately, if we get back to my burpee challenge, that rule's totally gone out the window, so it's a good thing I'm not being judged on it. Sorry about that, but times were tough. That's one lap. We're at 330 meters. 2 to go. Not going too bad at the moment. I just started to get a bit of cramp in the feet, so I have to change that up a little bit. Let's get it. Anyway, the third variation is stepping back and jumping in. Again, this is slower but more sustainable than jumping. It can be used if you have restricted mobility and the second variation you find difficult, or if you just find you get a better rhythm hopping into the jump. This variation also means that you are less likely to have your feet pass your hands, which is classed as a no rep. The final variation is stepping back, stepping up. This is obviously the slowest, but it's still a good option to keep making progress if you are struggling. As always, experiment with it, with each variation and find what works best for you. Now, no matter what burpee variation you choose, here are a few mistakes to avoid. Firstly, too much verticality. It doesn't matter how high you jump, if you are going for distance. So staying low will keep you efficient, and it makes it quicker to get back down to the ground for your next rep. The second mistake is strict push-ups. The standard state that your chest must touch the floor, but if you are doing a strict push-up every single time, your chest and triceps are going to kill. On the way down, drop your hips and roll your chest to the floor. On the way up, push your hips high to create a kipping motion and allow space for your feet to jump or step through. And the third one is resting on the floor. Now, I know some of you do this or are recommended to do this. The reason I don't like it is when you're lying on the floor, it's harder for your lungs to expand, so it makes it harder to breathe. It also kills any momentum you have by breaking the rep up. Believe me, after the sleds, I can happily lie there for 5 minutes, and so I think resting on the floor is just too tempting to rest that extra bit longer than you need to. I recommend getting quickly up off the floor, taking a jump, and then resting after the rep. Taking a moment, going again. Or at the very least, resting on all fours where you have space for your lungs to expand. So that's the technique. Now, how do we train for it? Extensive low-level plyometrics can be really useful to condition the feet and the calves for jumping. So movements like jump rope, single leg hops, explosive step-ups, or any variation of those are really good. And then hip mobility is a big factor to allow you to stay low and to be stable throughout a full range of motion. So movements like the goat stretch, deep squats, good mornings, 90-90 rotations, they are all really, really useful. Other than that, it's all cardiovascular. So I normally keep some form of burpees in my training year round within conditioning or interval sessions, as they're just a really easy way to spike your heart rate up. But any form of progressing your cardio base, so slow, steady running, hiking, swimming, machine work, it's going to give you more energy when it comes to the burpees.
Oh, get in there. Come back in there. Oh. 770 meters. That first lap was calm. That lap was pain. It's not even the, I thought it would be the cardio, but cardio breathing's fine. It's just the muscular strain. Like each time you jump, I'm trying to stay low, so I'm effectively like just landing in a squat every single time. We are at 26 minutes, 22, 1 to go. That was definitely a slower lap. Right, onwards.
So we've covered technique and training, now let's talk race strategy. So you've just come off of the sled push and the pull, both heavy, strength-intensive stations, and now you're going into a low-resistance, explosive movement, which means you will likely feel your heart rate and your breathing rate start to hold you back before any muscular breakdown. For this reason, it's important to establish a consistent rhythm early. It lets your breathing fall in time with your motions, and regular breathing allows your heart rate to come down a little. And then it's up to you on how you want to continue. I try not to take any long breaks, but will slow my reps down and take big jumps. But that's personal to me, it plays to my strengths. I've got a good bounce, but I'm a big guy and getting up and down off the ground is what kills me. So I will sort of take a big wind up, jump, and then take a moment and go again. You see similar athletes like Alex Ronkovic do a similar thing, steady big jumps, staying at the same speed throughout. Whereas Hunter will take much shorter jumps in bursts and take a few pauses towards the end. The final tip is to sidestep if you are trying to overtake someone. You are allowed to step to the side as long as you don't take any steps forward. So if anyone is in your way, don't waste a burpee by jumping diagonally to shuffle to the side. Just keep checking out ahead and just step to the side as and when you need to. Okay, I think that's everything covered. If you have any questions, let me know. and let's check in with the burpee challenge.
At this point, I had to really just harness my inner Goggins and just embrace the suffering.
Cheers! We made 32 minutes. And you can see we just made 1K. I'm gonna do, just for those extra subscribers out there, 140 more for the fans. They don't know me, son!